technical difficulties, but we're gonna get through this because that's what you do in life. You push. I'm pushing up, push. Get that up and all right, welcome to the fabulous episode of Sinner made a bang. Today, we're gonna keep it short and sweet, and lovely, new format, and I know you guys will like it. Hopefully, you guys keep telling a friend to tell a friend to share. It doesn't cost you much, but come check us out at Fan Faces. We give you the life stories, we give you sports stories, we give you everything in between that nobody else is giving. So come along with us on this ride. Andrew, what's happening in your life?
Well, a lot of fun stuff with the sports industry. We got the baseball starting up. We got the basketball playoffs and winding up, coming up soon. Same with hockey. Football's over with. I haven't seen you, since you went to Africa?
Yeah.
Back in December?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I went to Africa in January. Mm-hmm. You haven't seen me since January.
Ah, yes. And you missed the Super Bowl, missed all the NFL playoffs, watched all the Bills.
I didn't miss the Super Bowl. I was here for the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
I came back at the end of January. I caught the Super Bowl. And there's a bunch of people out there like Super Bowl's rigged. We'll get into that. Cam Newton's battle. We'll get into that. We got, what's it called? KD's argument with somebody that calls themselves an influencer. We'll get into that.
Oh, that was fun.
And we'll keep it short and sweet because you guys, we got to keep you updated and give you our take on how daily life, pop culture, and sports are blending together. All right, there we go, Andrew.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
What do you got?
So the first topic at hand, we're 3 weeks out. It's March. We're in the middle of March now, second week in March. But the Super Bowl happened, and people were like, oh my God, Patrick Mahomes, they rigged it for them, this, that, and the third. But I don't believe that that's a story. The story that they should be talking about the Super Bowl is Patrick Mahomes and company, they were supposed to suck. They were not supposed to be there at all.
Nope.
But they managed to find a way to beat Lamar and the Ravens. They found a way to beat who else?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
And beat the Dolphins in Kansas City.
The Dolphins in Kansas City. And then make it to the Super Bowl and beat the San Francisco 49ers. Right. It wasn't supposed to happen. They didn't have the offensive firepower.
It was their defense this year.
It was a defense, but they did just enough. That is the scariest thing that could ever happen to the league. Why do you say that? Because that's a Brady-esque thing to do. The defense carries you. You do just enough to win. And Patrick Mahomes and company, Patrick Mahomes and Rashina Rice and Travis Kelce and the running back. What's the running back's name? I'll get back to him. He runs hard. All four of them managed to find a way to win a championship. And McCole Hardman, the Super Bowl hero, who was traded away again to Kansas City by the Jets, ended up being the Super Bowl hero. And they used the same play that they used on Philly the year before to win the Super Bowl. So it's all crazy. If you think about it and you sit down and you think about it, moving forward, teams are no longer competing against Patrick Mahomes. They're competing against the myth of Patrick Mahomes. When I say the myth, it's like if you're winning against Tom Brady and all of a sudden you're up high, you hope that you don't make mistakes that are going to derail you. And that's all that's in your mind. Instead of preparing to do what you want to do, you're going to say, oh, I hope I don't mess up. I hope I don't mess up. And then you end up messing up. And when you end up messing up, you end up manifesting what was in your head all along. And that's what players are going to be playing against moving forward with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. You're going to manifest your destiny in the fact that you're going to lose against them. Instead of just going in there, you've had a game plan all week, executing it to the max. Be like Eli Manning and the Giants. Execute your game plan. Hit Tom Brady as often as possible. Hit Patrick Mahomes as often as possible. And execute your game plan.
The Chiefs were doing, or the 49ers were doing that in the Super Bowl. They got after Mahomes a lot, especially in the first half. And then
they did, but in your mind, you manifested the fact that Patrick Mahomes is going to come back, no matter how
fourth quarter,
no matter how much we're up by. Patrick Mahomes is going to come back. And when he does, it's going to be over for us. And the moment you start fumbling, It's like you have this ball in your hands and you have wet gloves
Right.
and you start fumbling it. And when you start fumbling it, what happens? Things just start a big mess just starts happening. You try to catch it here, you try to catch it there, nothing works.
Yeah.
The 49ers defense looked great 3 quarters. Looked great almost even into the fourth quarter. But in overtime, they couldn't stop anything. It's like what happened? So moving forward, Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce will soon be out, but Patrick Mahomes can probably play another 15, 20 years if he chooses
a
to.
lot.
It is a lot, but it's definitely possible. Dude is young. He could play well into his 40s, late 40s if he wants to. Just maintain his
Late
body.
40s, huh?
Yeah. The way technology is, the way they're taking
The
care of
NFL more
quarterbacks.
than okay. All right.
So it's definitely possible. So moving forward, of the greats in all sports, Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, add Patrick Mahomes to the list. You're playing against the ghost of Patrick Mahomes, the myth of Patrick Mahomes. Because he could not have a great supporting cast and he could still go out there and win.
You'll find a way.
Yeah, because in your head, you're like, oh my God, here he comes. Yeah. They're coming. But it doesn't have to be that way. When I wrestled, you know what I did? I'm not the greatest wrestler, but when I wrestled, I'm like, okay. They're like, oh, you're wrestling against somebody great. I'm like, that's fine. I have a game plan. My game plan is my game plan. Their game plan is their game plan, but I'm going to try my best and darnest to execute mine and not worry about what they're doing. And when you go out there, you start worrying about what Patrick Mahomes is going to do come fourth quarter, what Patrick Mahomes is going to do come overtime, what Andy Reid's going to do come overtime. What happens is you start to crumble mentally and then physically starts to manifest itself. You start doing things to sabotage yourself.
But is it more about the defense and them sabotaging themselves, or is it more to do with Patrick Mahomes and how he is able to kind of like figure everything out in the first 3 quarters, and then by the fourth quarter, he really understands what's going on against him, and he finds a way to beat them?
I mean, that also is a factor for sure, but Tom Brady won Super Bowls mainly because people were afraid of him. Teams were afraid of him. They go there, they play. It's an awe factor.
I don't think any of these teams are afraid of Tom Brady. I don't think the Atlanta Falcons were afraid of Tom Brady when they're 20-3.
There's 11 guys on the field.
Okay,
it only takes one guy to not do their job, and everything crumbles.
But keep in mind too, like the Patriots won 2 of their 6 Super Bowls because number one, the Seattle Seahawks didn't run the ball on the goal line when it was only 2nd down. And number 2, because the Atlanta Falcons lost that huge 20-3 lead in the fourth quarter because they didn't run the ball and use the clock. They decided to try to like score another 20 points in the fourth quarter, and they had no need to.
What would cause you to stop doing what you did that was so successful?
Ego?
If not fear.
Ego?
It's not ego.
Yeah, it's like, I'll give you an example. It's like Super Bowl 25 with the Buffalo Bills and the New York Giants. Bill Belichick, who was the defensive coordinator at the time for the New York Giants, knew the Bills' ego was so big, they were going to throw the ball no matter what. So they only put up like 3 guys at the line when they could have just run. If the Bills just used Thurman Thomas to run the ball, they gave them open fields, but they knew they weren't going to do it because they wanted to throw the ball. So they threw the ball the entire time.
They wanted to show that.
And it wasn't until the fourth quarter that the Bills were like, you know what? They're giving up these huge lanes. Maybe we should just give the ball to Thurman Thomas, let him run the ball. And that's when they started kind of like really moving the offense. So sometimes they can give you, these defenses will give you lanes, but they know your ego is so big. It all depends on how that's going to be structured. And like I said, like the Falcons had the Patriots beat. It was a done deal thing. All they do is just run the ball, use the clock, manage the game that way. The Patriots don't even have time to react to that. But their ego is so big, and they're like, we've been scoring all these points all day long. We'll keep doing it. No, you didn't. And the Patriots came back and won the game. So that's also a lot to do with it. And I think, I don't think the 49ers had an ego problem in their Super Bowl. It was just literally the Chiefs got things figured out after 3 quarters of just getting beat. by the 49ers. And the 49ers did miss some good opportunities to extend their
Running
lead.
Christian McCaffrey, running,
Yeah,
running.
they did. Yeah, that's another thing. Like they just like people move away from this from the run game, and Shanahan was the
Offensive coordinator for the
for the
Falcons.
Falcons as well. So it's like there he goes. You know, all those years later, he moves away from the run game, and from in this one, they move away from the run game. It's like he's your best player. Give it to Christian McCaffrey. Just like let him keep doing his thing, and you guys would have been managing the game a lot better. But for whatever reason, they feel like we just need to throw the ball, and you're allowing Patrick Mahomes to get back into that game that way because the defense, kudos to the Chiefs defense, was able to stop the passing game, which gave him more opportunities and more time to make that comeback.
Well, I mean, different view there, my view as well. But I mean, fear for me, I feel like works a great deal when you feel like here they come, they're coming again, they're coming to get us. We've messed up, but we've knocked that topic down. Let's get on to the next topic at hand, Mister Hammer and Cameron.
Your buddy.
He did such a great thing. There was a there's a meme that they put on Facebook where they showed Cam Newton getting stomped. I was like, after I helped all y'all, this is what you do to me. And then they had in the same clip up on top they had Peyton Manning and Eli Manning running the camp, and it came across so respectful, this, that, and the third. They're like, yeah, thanks guys for coming to our camp. It was good. But Cam Newton, here's my big old revelation. How you start a relationship is how it's gonna go. Cam Newton came in with the bravado. I'm a young guy, talking junk to these kids, treating them as if they're all equals when they're not. It's your camp. You should not give these people. Well, you could treat them respectfully, but don't talk to them in a manner in which they could eventually turn around and feel that you guys are on all equal footing when you're not. If you want your respect, you have to build it earlier. You're Cam Newton. You're on a, you're one of the top top quarterbacks in the league to ever play. You're one of the best to ever do it. And for these kids to just come up to you and disrespect you in that manner, that should never been allowed. That should never come to be. That should have never been a thought that crossed your mind, because the way you start interacting with them determines how they're going to treat you moving forward. You come in, you're like, hey, buddy, we're friends. Okay. Oh, you're my buddy. We're friends. And instead of, sir, Cam Newton, this is Mr. Cam Newton, or this is Mr. Newton, da 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 da, and keep the respect on 100. If you don't, these kids are going to start treating you like their peers. And, you talk trash to them, they talk trash back to you, and eventually they're stomping you out or trying to stomp you out. And you would have been like, had I known, I should have never given them, I should have never treated them like that. It's partially your fault, but also, I mean, I guess the kids have to take responsibility, or the guys who are coaching the other teams have to take responsibility for their guys. But I would never, if I had like, the status that Cam Newton has, go in there, like belittle myself by talking reckless to people. It's all in fun, yeah. It's all fun until somebody takes it the wrong way, and then they react to you in a manner that you're like, oh, I didn't expect this. You don't expect it, you don't bring it to the table to start with. Because you're Cam Newton, you're up there, you're one of the best to ever do it. Keep that in mind and do that. And don't, I mean, if anybody's approaching you, let them go through security guards or something like that. Don't let it be, they have free range to you to come approach you like an open door policy, because you're a professional. You're one of the best to ever do it. Keep that respect between you
Well,
and your
how
brother.
was the interaction with Peyton Manning and Eli Manning with the players? The kids come up to them? Were they able to interact with them?
No, kids will come up to them, but they're not like in player gear and they're ready to run around there with the kids and roll around. It looked like they put on a jumpsuit like
Yeah.
this, and just I keep my boundary, I keep my distance. You're doing your thing with the coaches. I'm not so much involved. It's my camp. I'll show some things, I'll teach some things, but I'm not so involved to the point where you're in my face, I'm in your face. You're talking crap to me, I'm talking crap to you, which in the long run brings disrespect, because now you're so comfortable with how we're interacting, you feel that you could do something or say something to me that's we're just two people on the same level doing I don't want to swear, doing stuff that doesn't come across as respectful to each other. So the bottom line is Cam Newton, maintain respect moving forward. If you don't maintain your respect and you don't put it out there as if this is what I deserve, then people are going to take advantage of it, and
Right.
somebody's going to want to stomp you out for a bet. Somebody's going to want to fight you. Yeah, you're a big boy, 260, 250, 6'4", 6'5", but somebody may want to give you all the smoke. So in the future, carry yourself in a manner, interact with the people the same the first time you meet them, interact with them in a level that you want them to treat you moving forward and forever and ever with your interactions. So the thought won't even cross your mind that we're gonna go jump Cam Newton. Why in the hell would you be sitting there thinking about jumping Cam Newton? You're not gonna jump Eli Manning. You're not gonna
I don't
jump
think they went
Peyton
into the
Manning.
camp thinking they were going to jump Cam Newton.
They didn't, but they felt relaxed enough around him to feel that this is a possibility. We could do that to him. Like, I could cross that line. They might not have planned it, but if it happens, then this is what we're gonna do.
Mhm.
And it's just goofy. But that's that. Let's jump to that guy, KD, with the social media influencer or the podcaster. What happened with that? I don't know the finer details of that.
Apparently, I didn't even know he was a podcaster until he made an announcement that he was a
But I'm a
podcaster.
podcaster. All right, great.
Yeah. So anyway, so some grown man who has these really nice tickets to the Mavericks game, Kevin Durant, comes on the court, calls him B, you're a B, and Kevin Durant turns around and starts walking back towards the guy, and the guy shit himself.
As
So-
he should.
As he should. And so Kevin's, talking to him, and the guy's like, for whatever reason, his way of rationalizing his behavior is that he has a podcast, which stunning. So this guy obviously is making some decent money if he's going to afford those nice floor tickets to the Mavericks game. But it's just gotten to a point, and in Kevin Durant's credit, like, he didn't have him kick. I mean, he could have kicked the guy out. He didn't do it, which shows a lot of Kevin Durant's character.
Restraint.
Yeah, I think that's great. But I mean,
Andrew, Kevin Durant may show restraint there, but hop on Kevin Durant's burner account and
well, Kevin Durant, he will jaw with you, and I think that's cool.
in the burner, he will jaw with you in the burner account.
But I think it's just, to me, I'm just really fascinated by these grown men that feel
Entitled.
almost and just, or comfortable, like they're just comfortable acting like you're going to a game. Like, go to a game because you want to watch these professionals play. You get to watch your favorite team represent your city. Get lost in that. The idea of, I'm going to now dehumanize these athletes for no other reason, just to get a reaction, is just mind-boggling to me, especially when you're a grown-up. Like, when you're a kid, you always think that, like, grown-ups have their,
their stuff together.
yeah, they're just, like, listen to the adults. And then you get older and you're like, no, they're just about effed up as these other kids were. Like, really, like, my kids, like, if I took them to the game, would be more well-behaved than this grown man.
The saying goes,
Like, how pathetic is that?
Don't do as I do as I tell you.
But it's the dumbest thing. Like, people are so comfortable. It's like, I'm glad you guys are comfortable, but the fact that you're comfortable, why is that your reaction? Why is it that is what you want to say to Kevin Durant? Why not be like, yo, man, have a good game? Or, why is it that, like, you want to call him a bitch? Like, for what reason?
The reason that
you think you're going to throw him off his game? Like, you think by doing that before tip-off, Kevin Durant's going to be thinking about you the whole game and probably going to drop 5 points. Is that what you think's going to happen? Because you're not going to throw him off his game.
Nah.
You're just a grown guy, and everything's on camera nowadays. So, like, we're going to see you act this way, and then it's going to go viral, and they're going to have some, podcast like ours talk about it, because it's everywhere now. So, like, this dude's going to be known as the dumbass that somehow is able to afford these nice tickets and called Kevin Durant a bitch, being a grown man. Like how that?
Oh, Andrew, that's a lot of
Excuse me, Frank.
that's a lot of passion for that guy. He's not paying our bills, so let's keep it pushing from him.
He's very slow.
KD, you'll hop on that burner and let him know what it is. KD has a Twitter burner. So you hop on that burner and let him know what it is. Free smoke, but that's besides the case. The NBA championships are coming. Well, May, June. So in June, they'll be coming right around the corner, man. The top teams in the East, top teams in the West, top teams in the East, top teams in the West. I don't know. I know the Nuggets are one of them, and in the East, is the Celtics, and maybe the Bucks, maybe the Heat. The Heat have the Celtics number, so we'll see how that goes. But the Nuggets are destined to win it again. It looks like because their core didn't go anywhere. The only person that they're really paying is Djokovic, and he's healthy. So the healthiest team in the NBA Finals is going to win. So the Nuggets may go back to back, just like the Chiefs.
They're fantastic, man. The Nuggets are fantastic.
They
have no other All-Stars other than
Djokovic.
Yeah,
well, they don't need any other All-Star. Everybody compliments him. He compliments everybody. He's a great passer, great rim protector. Doesn't jump, but he does his thing. So that's awesome for him. Doesn't jump well. He jumps, but doesn't jump well.
Doesn't need to jump very high. He's big.
He likes horses. It's a good time. But what's happening in pop culture these days? The elections are coming around the corner. And go vote. Vote your best. Vote, go vote and make sure it counts. I guess that's all we can say.
So if you're a Republican in New York State,
go vote.
Your Democrats are still going to win because it's a Republican state.
Hey, Republicans rig it for Republicans in Republican states.
There's only a few states that like you can go either way.
Democrats rig it for Democrats in Democratic-run states. That's life. That's what we've come to see.
But I'm just saying, if you say, like, for example, you're a Republican in California, what's the point?
Go vote. Your vote still counts. Your number.
It counts.
Yeah,
but you're going to lose.
It's all right. Go vote. Whatever you believe in, go vote. You don't know the outcome until the outcome has been put in your face.
All right.
Election's not around the corner, but we have our two candidates. We have Joseph R. Biden. We have Donald J. Trump.
Is that official yet? When does it become official?
It's official. It's issued, man.
Is it official?
Yeah, because Haley dropped out of the election. And
so out of a country with how many million people now? 400 million?
I don't know.
Our two best options are two elderly men.
That's how it goes, man. If you decided to run, are you of age? 45.
Bro, I think you can be 35 to run for president.
Oh yeah, 35. So you're good to go. If Andrew wants to run, go put yourself out there, man. Give us an option.
Independent and vote Pender for president.
Why not? Vivek Ramaswamy. They asked him if he'd give Donald Trump some money, if he'd loan him some money. He talked his way out. He talked and never answered the question.
It's amazing how people can talk so much and they actually have nothing to say.
Well, he did it the right way. He didn't want to say no because he figures Donald Trump still has his political ambitions in his hands.
Right.
But here's the funny thing. Donald Trump says he won the last election. But if you win, you're not eligible to run again if you did win the last election. But since you didn't, I guess you're running again because you're eligible to run. Weird. But that's that. So, on today's episode, if you want to catch our lovely faces, go to YouTube. But if you want to listen to our silky smooth voices, Amazon, Spotify, Apple, and what's it called? Google. You could hear our silky smooth voices. And
his silky smooth voice.
You can hear our voices, You can hop on that. It'll be nice. But make sure to share. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share the audio. Share the video on YouTube once posted. And keep us in the topics of conversation. We'll put clips out there for you guys to watch. If anything catches your attention, go watch the full episode. We're trying not to make them long anymore. Because we know everybody's got things going on. And We just want to spoon feed you just the right amount.
Instagram 10-second clips.
Not just Instagram. You
Right?
got
Is that what that is?
You got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got TikTok, you got Snapchat.
Okay.
But for us, we have Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. That's where we post our videos. So they're anywhere between 30 seconds to a minute long clips. Just to keep you guys engaged.
Keep it pushing.
Keep it pushing, keep you guys engaged.
Right.
But if you want the full episode, go to YouTube, hashtag Final Cuts Media, or Fan Faces the podcast, fan space faces on YouTube. Catch us there. And also a happy birthday to my mother. She's an old lady now, even though she won't say it, but she is. But happy birthday to her. If she's watching this at some point in time, if she watches to the end, she'll know I told her happy birthday on TV or on YouTube.
Cool.
All right. So this episode is sponsored by 19 Strings for the Harp. It's on Amazon. Support the boy Andrew. And today's episode is sponsored by Final Cuts Media. We got music. We got movies. We're coming to a theater near you. We're already on iTunes with the music. iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, you name it. The music's there. Go check it out. And if you want to make a TikTok video with one of Final Cut Media's Final Cut Media artists' songs,